Hey there, dudes and dudettes. Welcome to a time when everything was bigger, bolder, and brighter. The 1980s were a decade like no other, filled with unforgettable fashion, groundbreaking technology, and a spirit of adventure that was truly infectious. Buckle up as we take a rad trip back to the 1980s. Picture yourself cruising down the highway in a classic car, windows down, and the wind in your hair. The open road was calling, and we were always ready to answer. Imagine a world without smartphones. No, really, picture it. Instead of texting, we had landline phones with long, curly cords. Family time meant gathering in the living room to watch TV together or playing board games. It was a simpler time, but it brought us closer in ways that are hard to imagine today. Life was different then, but trust me, it was totally awesome. Parties were all about dancing to the latest hits, laughing with friends, and making memories that would last a lifetime. The energy was electric, and the fun was endless. We had big hair, neon colors, and a whole lot of fun. Fashion was all about standing out and making a statement. From shoulder pads to leg warmers, every outfit was a chance to express your unique style. Get ready to party like it's 1989. Dance floors were packed with people showing off their best moves, and the music was always pumping. Whether it was a school dance or a house party, the goal was to have a blast and dance the night away. The 80s were a time of big changes and even bigger dreams. Cities were bustling with activity, and people were working hard to achieve their goals. It was a decade of ambition and innovation, where anything seemed possible. We were all about pushing boundaries, expressing ourselves, and living life to the fullest. Music concerts were a huge part of our lives, and street fashion was a way to show the world who we were. It was a time of creativity and self-expression. Think leg warmers, shoulder pads, and music that made you want to move. Aerobics classes were all the rage, and everyone wanted to stay fit and look good. The dance floor was a place to let loose and have fun. It was a time of innovation too, with personal computers starting to appear in homes and video games becoming a national pastime. Arcades were the place to be, and everyone wanted to beat the high score. Technology was changing the way we lived, and it was an exciting time to be alive. So, hop in my kitty car and let's cruise down memory lane. The 1980s were a decade of unforgettable moments, and we're here to relive them all. From the fashion, to the music, to the technology, it was a time that left a lasting impact on all of us. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride as we take you back to the neon decade. Okay, so no smartphones. Can you even imagine? It's hard to believe now, but there was a time when the idea of carrying a phone in your pocket was pure science fiction. Back in the 1980s, our lives were completely different. We didn't have the luxury of instant communication at our fingertips. Instead, we relied on landline phones, which were often the centerpiece of our living rooms. We had these things called rotary phones. You had to put your finger in the hole and spin it around to dial a number. It took forever. Each number had to be dialed individually, and if you made a mistake, you had to start all over again. It was a slow and deliberate process, but it was all we knew. The sound of the rotary dial turning and the clicking as it returned to its place is something that many people today have never experienced. And payphones? Those were everywhere. You'd have to use a quarter to make a call. Payphones were a lifeline when you were out and about. If you needed to make a call, you had to find a payphone booth, which were often located on busy street corners or in public places. You'd step inside, close the door for some privacy, and hope you had enough change to complete your call. Collect calls were a thing too. If you didn't have any change, you could make a collect call, where the person you were calling would agree to pay for the call. It was a way to stay connected, even when you were short on cash. The operator would come on the line and ask the person if they would accept the charges, and if they said yes, you were good to go. But the best part, handwritten letters. Remember those? Before emails and text messages, we communicated through letters. writing a letter was an art form. You'd sit down with a pen and paper, carefully choosing your words, and sometimes even decorating the margins with little doodles or stickers. It was a personal and thoughtful way to stay in touch. We'd spend hours pouring our hearts out on paper, decorating the envelopes, and waiting patiently for a reply. The anticipation of waiting for a letter to arrive was both exciting and nerve-wracking. You'd check the mailbox every day, hoping to find a letter addressed to you. And when it finally arrived, it was like receiving a little piece of someone's world. It was all about anticipation and the joy of receiving a tangible piece of someone's thoughts. There was something magical about holding a letter in your hands, knowing that the person who wrote it had touched the same paper. It was a connection that felt more real and personal than any digital message could ever be. And forget texting. We passed notes in class, folded into intricate shapes. Talk about secret communication. Passing notes was a way to share secrets and stay connected with friends during class. We had all sorts of creative ways to fold the notes, from simple squares to elaborate origami shapes. It was a fun and sneaky way to communicate without getting caught by the teacher. Each note was a little treasure, filled with inside jokes, doodles, and sometimes even confessions. It was a different kind of instant messaging, one that required a bit more effort and creativity. Forget Netflix and chill. Back in the day, we had our own unique ways of entertainment that were just as exciting, if not more so. We had something way cooler: video rental stores. These places were magical, filled with rows upon rows of VHS tapes, each one a potential adventure waiting to be taken home. Remember Blockbuster? We'd spend hours browsing the aisles, arguing over which movie to rent for the night. It was a ritual, a social event, and a treasure hunt, all rolled into one. And then there were the arcades. These were the ultimate hangout spots, buzzing with energy and excitement. Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Galaga. These games were legendary. Each game had its own unique charm and challenge, and mastering them was a badge of honor. We'd spend all our allowance trying to beat the high score. The thrill of seeing your initials at the top of the leaderboard was unmatched. And who could forget MTV? When music television launched, it was a game changer. Music television. It was brand new and totally radical. MTV brought music to life in a way we had never seen before, with music videos that were mini movies. We'd watch music videos for hours on end, mesmerized by the visuals and the music. It was a cultural phenomenon that shaped our tastes and our lives. Michael Jackson, Madonna, Prince. These were our icons. Their music and their style influenced everything from our fashion to our dance moves. Music was everything, and we weren't afraid to crank it up. Whether it was at a party, in our bedrooms, or through our Walkmans, music was the soundtrack of our lives. The 1980s were a time of innovation and creativity. We didn't have streaming services or digital downloads, but we had something just as special. We had the joy of discovery, the thrill of the hunt, and the excitement of sharing our finds with friends and family. Our entertainment wasn't just about consuming content. It was about the experiences we had along the way. Riding our bikes to the local video store, spending hours in the arcade, and gathering around the TV to watch the latest music videos. These were the moments that defined our youth. Sleepovers were a big deal. We'd rent a stack of movies, make a ton of popcorn, and stay up all night watching our favorite films. It was a bonding experience, a way to connect with friends and create lasting memories. Concerts were another highlight. Seeing our favorite artists perform live was an electrifying experience. The energy, the music, the crowd, it was all part of the magic. And let's not forget the fashion. The 80s were all about bold colors, big hair, and unique styles. From neon leg warmers to leather jackets, our fashion choices were as vibrant and diverse as the music we loved. Toys and games were also a huge part of our lives. We had Rubik's Cubes, Transformers, and so many other iconic toys that kept us entertained for hours. Family movie nights were a cherished tradition. We'd all gather around the TV, pop in a VHS tape, and enjoy a film together. It was a time to relax, laugh, and enjoy each other's company. The 80s were a time of community and connection. We spent a lot of time outside, playing with friends and exploring our neighborhoods. It was a simpler time, but one filled with joy and adventure. So, while today's technology offers convenience and instant access, there's something to be said for the experiences we had back then. The anticipation, the effort, and the shared moments made our entertainment truly special. Arcades, VHS tapes, and MTV. These were more than just forms of entertainment. They were a way of life, a part of our identity, and a source of endless fun and memories. So here's to the 80s, a decade of unforgettable experiences and timeless memories. It was a time when we truly knew how to have fun and make the most of every moment. The mall wasn't just a place to shop, it was the ultimate hangout spot for everyone. We'd meet up with friends, grab a slice of pizza, and just wander around for hours, exploring every corner. Roller skating rinks were another favorite pastime. We'd lace up our skates, hit the rink, and show off our best moves, or at least try not to fall too hard. And let's not forget about diners, the classic hangout spots. They were open late, the food was cheap, and the atmosphere was always lively and welcoming. We'd talk for hours over milkshakes and French fries, sharing stories, dreams, and laughter. It was all about face-to-face interaction, real conversations, and genuine connections that